Welcome back to another episode of Villain Vault, where we dive deep into the most iconic, diabolical, and downright entertaining villains of all time. I'm your host, Leroy Jones.
And I'm Elena Lopez. And today we are cracking open the vault to talk about one of the most gloriously over-the-top villains to ever grace 1980s television. He's got a skull for a face, an insult for everyone he meets, and a never-ending determination to conquer Castle Grayskull.
That's right, today's episode is all about the one, the only, Skeletor. Let's be real, Elena, this dude is one of the most iconic cartoon villains of all time.
No doubt. Whether you grew up watching He-Man and the Masters of the Universe or just know him from internet memes, Skeletor is everywhere. But why is he so unforgettable? Why, out of all the 80s villains, does he still have such a strong grip on pop culture?
That's exactly what we're going to break down today: his design, his personality, his impact, and why, even though he's technically a bad guy, we just can't help but love him.
Okay, so let's start with the obvious, his look. Skeletor is just one of those villains that, even if you've never watched a single episode of He-Man, you recognize instantly.
Absolutely. I mean, you take one look at him, and you get it, this guy is bad news. He's got that fleshless skull, glowing red eyes, a deep purple hood, and then, bam, this totally jacked blue body. It's like someone mashed up a horror movie villain and a bodybuilder, then threw in a little bit of medieval sorcery.
It's such a weird contrast, but it works. Usually, when you think of a skeleton, you imagine something thin and brittle, but no, Skeletor is ripped. He looks like he could bench press Beastman, and honestly, he probably has.
And let's not forget that gnarly Havoc staff. That thing is pure villain aesthetics, golden ram skull, glowing eyes, packed with magic. The whole look screams, I'm evil, but I also have style.
And that's exactly why he was such a great action figure. Back in the 80s, toy companies knew that kids wanted the coolest looking characters, and Skeletor had that instant appeal. He was the perfect bad guy to go up against He-Man in an epic living room battle.
Of course, looks aren't everything. A villain needs the right voice, and Skeletor. Oh man, he had one of the best voices in cartoon history.
For sure. Alan Oppenheimer gave Skeletor this incredible voice. Part growling villain, part theatrical mastermind, and part frustrated boss dealing with incompetent employees.
And let's not forget that laugh. That high-pitched, evil cackle, it's legendary.
Exactly. But what really makes Skeletor's voice so iconic is the way he delivers his lines. He doesn't just say, "You fool." He says, "You blundering boob." Or "You pathetic pile of fur." His insults are pure gold.
Oh, we are definitely doing a best insult segment later in the show.
One of the most interesting things about Skeletor is that he's actually kind of relatable, at least in terms of persistence. No matter how many times He-Man defeats him, no matter how many times his plans fail, he just keeps coming back.
Exactly. A lot of villains have this one big master plan, and once it fails, they either disappear or get written out of the show. Not Skeletor. He gets knocked down, shakes his fist at the sky, and then starts planning his next move.
He's like the Wile E. Coyote of Eternia.
Yes. That's such a good comparison. Just like Wile E. Coyote is doomed to fail against the Roadrunner, Skeletor is doomed to fail against He-Man. But we love watching him try.
And honestly, sometimes we kind of root for him. He-Man is this perfect, all-powerful hero, and sometimes you just want to see Skeletor get a little win.
He really is the underdog of his own show. He's powerful, he's got magic, he's got an army, but somehow, he's always just one step behind. And that just makes him even more fun to watch.
Alright, let's talk about the lasting impact of Skeletor, because this dude has transcended He-Man at this point.
Oh, 100%. First off, memes. Skeletor is all over the internet. Those, "Until we meet again," memes where he drops some wisdom and then runs away. Iconic.
And then there are the inspirational Skeletor memes, where he gives you life advice but still looks like he's about to conquer a kingdom.
I also love how he keeps getting reinvented. We've seen different versions of him in shows like Masters of the Universe, Revelation, and the newer Netflix series. Even though he's been around since the 80s, he still finds new fans.
Not to mention he's inspired other villains. That mix of serious evil and ridiculous comedy? You see that DNA in villains like Hordak, Dr. Draken from Kim Possible, and even some of the big bads in modern fantasy shows.
Alright, before we wrap things up, we have to do a quick, best Skeletor insults rundown.
Oh yes. Okay, I'll start. You royal boob.
Classic. How about, you miserable excuse for a henchman?
Ooh, here's a good one. You furry flea-bitten fool. Poor beast man.
And my favorite, I am not nice.
That one sums him up perfectly.
And that's it for today's episode of Villain Vault. Skeletor is a legend, no doubt about it, and whether you love him, fear him, or just laugh at him, he's one of the greatest cartoon villains of all time.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow us on social media and let us know. What's your favorite Skeletor moment? And who should we cover next?
Until we meet again.